I learned early on in my Christian life that something was missing if I didn't learn how to give away my faith, experience the joy of being involved with other people. My first experience as a young Christian, within 2 minutes of finding out who Christ was, to go to my dorm room, prop myself in the door, and tell guys as they walk by, I say, guys, I found the answers. And just doing that in the following years, learning what God is doing in people's lives and drawing that out and sharing with them the truth of the kingdom and understanding of who Christ did and who He is continues to be a huge part of my Christian walk.
Steve Wiley has what he calls a very Socratic method of kind of sharing the gospel, getting people to talk, to share what their beliefs are, what their feelings are. And as part of the assignment of those of us that were in the class, all of us committed to sharing these 10 questions. I travel a lot for my work, and I knew that I was going to be flying to Chicago in the upcoming weeks. So I told the group when I was in there that I was going to begin to pray for the person sitting next to me on the plane. And sat next to a businessman and started talking with him, just making small conversation about the weather and what he did for a living. And I started to get a sense right away that Ron was a believer and a Christian. And at first there was a part of me that thought, God, I was really hoping the opportunity to lead somebody to the Lord. But ultimately I realized he had saving faith, knew that he had a relationship. And I shared with Ron that whether he knew it or not, I'd been praying for him all week. And we had an incredible conversation about our faith. We encouraged one another. And I just want to share with you some emails that I've gotten from Ron. He travels quite extensively with his job overseas. Since we met on the plane a couple of months back and prayed, I've been having some of the most intense plane experiences. Just last week on a flight to Beijing, I was seated next to a missionary I'd lost touch with several years ago that needed to pray and talk. I can't explain how powerful that experience was in an email, but I can say without a doubt the timing was miraculous. I arrived in Paris this morning, and on the flight here, a man behind me tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Please tell me about God." Because when I was talking to the person next to me, he said that he overheard 1 or 2 words, and he knew that I knew the truth. It was actually quite surreal, as I've never had anyone beg me to tell them about Jesus before. And Ron says, "Thanks for being obedient on that plane trip to Chicago. It has set up something spiritually that I don't fully understand, but it's good." God bless, Ron.
People don't know how bad they need to learn to share their faith, just for their own personal journey. When I think of who my father is and that he works silently and quietly behind the scenes, and the instruments he uses are his spirit, working in the hearts of people, his word to convey truth, and we get to be the conduits by which we can expose people to the character and truth about God and His kingdom.
I think that if people in a church just sit in the pews, come on Sundays, and that's all they're looking for, it just turns into a club. We've got enough clubs in this town, in this community, and we need more than a club. And for me, I need to belong to something that's greater than a club. And a class like this connects me with those people that want to be a part of something bigger and something that's going to impact not just the people of this church, but the people of the community and hopefully the people of the world.